All right, guys, we're back with another episode of Barbells and Banter, and we're talking about getting huge today. So we actually went over all of the things, the good, the bad, the pretty, the ugly sides of, adding on muscle size and some strategies that we use and implement to stay in a surplus as long as possible. So dig into that. Shameless plug, I have a muscle building cheat sheet that you can access through the link in my bio on my Instagram. You can also access it through the website, STCfit.com. So get on that. It's got all the tips that you need, to dial yourself into the places that are going to serve you best to put on as much muscle as you can. As always, perfect opportunity to hit the subscribe button and show your support to the podcast by liking, sharing, and commenting. Give us some feedback on the podcast itself. That is it for now. Enjoy the episode, and we'll see you next time. So there's two types of friends, Tam. So there's friends that always say, remember when? And then there's friends that say, I can't wait to. There's people that are always like, remember when we used to do this, or remember when you used to be like this. And you're kind of like, especially for people who've probably done a lot of growth and moved on. Or for people who've just, by chance just grown apart. Like, as in, sorry.
It's the whole peaked in high school concept, right?
They're the ones that always sit back and go, remember this, and you were always like this, and and you're like, especially when you're, I'm not saying,
when you're just not in the same place anymore.
Yeah, and it's not like you look back at yourself and go, oh, fuck. But, you kind of just...
I do.
Well, I was trying to say... I was trying to be nice for some people who might think that. It's like, it's not bad to look back and go, oh, fuck, look how far I've come.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be like... If you put a lot of work in and you kind of like, I'm not that person anymore, you don't really want to be reminded of it.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people...
I've had a heap of conversations with Amy and just like, fuck, I was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Development.
Yeah, it's like when I look back at those, the times where other people would be like, oh, I remember when we did this. I'm like, fuck, what a piece of shit.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I know I've seen it with other people, like, they've either done something funny or, a little bit of a loose cannon at the, back then, and then you can just tell when people are like, oh, remember, or in their face, they're just not proud of it now.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll be like in a nice way, just try and change the subject.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you don't know if this person wants you to talk that way
about that anymore.
Yeah. So the older you get, you start to work out the people that gossip about other people and the people that talk about the news, they're the ones that maybe don't have much.
Do you ever watch the news?
No. I watched the most news when Mum stayed at my house for a month.
That is all my dad talks about.
I've started
my mum's the same.
He just watches the news all the time. I'm like, how stressed are you?
My grandparents used to as well.
My mum's not stressed, she's just bored.
I remember staying with my grandparents and be like, all right, 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Cartoons off. I'm like, no. ABC Kids goes till 6 p.m. Pa.
Yeah.
It's 6 p.m. Not 5. I don't care if you're going to watch the same news at 7 o'clock.
That's when it gets good, when you can't watch it anymore.
Channel 10 used to do the 5 p.m. news and the 7 p.m. news. It's like, Pa, you're going to watch it again.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the same. It's all right.
Yeah, it's literally the same with just two different people.
So let me watch Heartbreak High and fuck off, all right?
Bad.
But yeah, my YouTube started on my TV. It has a news...
Oh, yeah.
That's 3 down.
So that's how I keep up to speed with life. I just read things.
I'm like, bro, I don't want to see this. Get it out of my face.
Yeah, it's like, this is flooded. This is on fire. This person's missing.
That's it. Yeah, everything's the worst. I'm like,
this shark ate someone.
My news week last week was Hamilton, and that was it.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what else is going in the world, but Hamilton's going to Ferrari next year.
Yeah. Yeah, then I'm not about the news. Just makes you stressed anyway.
Yeah.
We were talking, was it last week, about controlling your energy? It's like, I don't want to be stressed about something that either I can't control or doesn't really affect me.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, as a business owner, should I pay attention to the goings on of the world?
I look at it.
Also like, nah.
Yeah. Look, I look at things. I look at the economic landscape a fair bit.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm a fucking homeowner, and
it affects you.
And I run a small business.
Yeah.
So I do look at that stuff, but then I have stopped the amount because sometimes I can just start getting stressed because I'm just like, oh fuck, inflation's not going down and fucking there's more interest rates on the horizon and blah blah blah, and I'm just like, I can't fucking control this. So what's the point in stressing about it?
Yeah.
So I definitely think there's a happy medium of just getting a bit of an idea of what's going on, but not to the point where like every day you're just like,
obsessed with it.
Let's tune into the bad news today at 6 p.m. Like,
I wonder if it's a position of privilege to be just like, even like the inflation thing, because our budget's so, you get this much for groceries, we get this much to do our fun stuff, it's like, just buy less groceries or spend less on them.
It's
not,
like that's not an option for
not
me.
less. Different choices.
Starve.
It's like I have to crumb my own chicken. You know what I mean? Like I don't. It's like that $250 has got to last the week.
Yeah.
So I don't sit there and be like, fuck. Like, you know how people are like, oh man, I bought a lettuce. It was like $6. I've never looked at the price of fucking lettuce in my life.
Oh, I would, but I just wouldn't buy it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, fuck it, I'll eat spinach.
Something else.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just, we spend this much money and then it's like, okay, we need to stop buying, like, we're eating those
shoes every week.
Those wicked protein
the yogurt
puddings.
things. Yeah.
It's like,
they're like $3 a pop.
At the moment, IGA 3 for $7.
Oh, hey.
Get the fuck on it. Bought 6 of them.
Sport local.
I can't remember. Oh, so they're like that's like an expensive way to get 15 grams of protein.
Oh yeah.
It's like I have casein at home that I could mix up and have my protein. But you know what?
I just want to peel the lid off.
And they fucking taste delicious.
And get into it. Yeah.
But
what flavor are you fucking with?
Banana and chocolate only.
Yeah.
Because they released new ones. Mango is horrible, bro.
Yeah, and the strawberry one doesn't hit that good.
The strawberry one wants to be Yogo so bad, it just isn't. The aftertaste is just not it.
The vanilla one has rice in it.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's obviously
like
different.
a rice pudding.
Yeah, it's different macro composition. But it has rice in it.
I used to buy the Yoplait rice puddings all the time.
Yeah, it's such an interesting choice, though, to just have every other flavour with nothing in it.
And then add
rice in this one.
Yeah, I guess it's like a tradition.
Maybe maybe like to get the protein up.
Maybe.
They put rice in it, so you get the rice protein. I don't know. It's weird, man.
Yeah, I bought every flavour except vanilla, apparently. Maybe IGA doesn't have it.
Well, some places have like exclusives.
Yeah.
Have you realised that Delight's only... You know, like the Delights, the snack, the rice
biscuits.
Yeah, so Coles has barbecue.
Oh, yes.
And Woolies doesn't. But then Woolies has honey ham or whatever, and then Coles doesn't, or something.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they're my fucking favourite flavours.
Yeah.
So I've got to go to like...
It's so weird.
We go through probably 2 litres of the green Diet Right a week.
Yeah.
And it used to be only Woolies had it. And there's no Woolies in Gisborne.
Right.
So we used to get, anytime Dad was going to come visit, we're like, hey, can you go to Woolies and get like 8 bottles?
Yeah.
Bring it with you because Coles doesn't have it.
We're running low on rations.
Yeah, but now they do. So my life is better.
Coles don't have the creamy soda Kirks as well, the diet one.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a big deal for me.
Yeah, I have a soda stream, so I don't do cans anymore.
I'm gluttonous. Yesterday I had 3 cans.
Oofed.
I'm going to die.
Spartane. Dead.
Yeah. I felt a bit deathly overnight. It rose up again. Hold 3 cans. I had 3 cans and 2 Splendor packets yesterday. I'm fucked.
Jesus.
I burnt the candle. I burnt the candle off the other side. Apparently, your boys just after some sweet. You know what I found is just like, so we're going to talk about getting huge today later. Is because I'm eating so much food, I have to make it taste good.
Yeah.
So that's the only way I can eat it.
Yeah, because you're full.
Yeah, because when you're hungry, so like when you're hungry and you're getting shredded, like most things taste good, especially if you just put a little bit of mayo on it. Like, you know, every now and then people's like, "Have you had that? Have you had this?" And it's like they reckon it tastes so good, and it tastes like shit. It's just like
you're dieting.
Some diet combination of something. Yeah, it's just like your taste buds are just screaming out for flavor.
My most hilarious one is the sugar-free jelly crystals in Chobani yogurt.
Yeah.
I remember thinking that was just like...
Yeah, you're struggling with
this is the fucking best thing on earth. I'm going to eat this every day for the rest of my life. Yeah. And then you get calories back. You're like, this is fucking trash.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not it. I remember I made this like diet cheesecake thing once. It's so sad. It was sad, bro. It had like, the jelly on the top.
Like soup?
Like it had like Philadelphia and shit in it with like whey protein. And then I had this like oat kind of biscuit kind of bottom. It was like before Instagram. So, you know, like you see all these little mugs and shit. I'm like, that doesn't taste good.
Yeah.
And then, I ate it and then like finished my diet and there's still half left. And then like I took one bite after 2 days of calories and I'm like, What is wrong with you? How did you think this tasted good?
I remember
yeah.
making a cauliflower pizza
Pizza?
base,
Yeah, it's not it.
and I ate the whole thing.
It's
And
not good.
my guts were ruined for like
Yeah.
2
Imagine
days.
eating a
I'm
whole
like,
cauliflower.
what's going on? Why? And I was like, oh, that meal had 55 grams of protein in it, fiber in it. Like,
Yeah.
that's why I feel like shit.
When I made that, the cauliflower base, I put so much Parmesan cheese in it that it just like wasn't worth it.
Yeah, it was just a cheese base.
Yeah. And it would have been like triple the calories of
Yeah.
like just getting a normal
A
pizza.
wrap. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, I'm on that side now where it's like everything has to be tasty.
Mm.
Or if it doesn't, I eat and then I drink the
Mm.
diet
To wash it
soda
down.
because I watch a lot of
Yeah.
eating videos
Yeah,
because I'm weird, and that's a trick they use.
yeah.
So when I'm like getting full, I'm like, all right, start chugging the bubbles.
Is that to
To want to eat the next mouthful.
right? Is that just to switch up the flavors in your mouth?
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. So you go
Right.
savory, and then you get
Mhm.
palate fatigue. So like, I'm already sitting down to a meal, and I don't want to eat it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
How many
Not
calories you on?
probably like 3,500 to 4,000. It's not a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't want to eat it from like. I'm trying to eat it from like
Good food.
2,500 calories good food, and then a little bit of
Yeah.
carbs stackers. Yeah. So I'm smashing the LCM bars and the.
Yeah.
Steph went to the in-law. So Steph went to her parents, so
Yeah.
my in-laws, and I come home, and she comes home, and there's a box of these, the Carmen's muesli bars, though, not the protein ones. Picture the biggest box you could ever buy. It's that, and it's got like 4 mini boxes in it
Sick.
that you buy from the shops. So I'm wrecking them. I ate 3 last night before bed. Protein shake. So yeah, I'm like kind of just trying to eat good food, still veggies, whatever.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, just like sweets, basically, because
Yeah.
everything else I just can't eat it,
Yeah.
But yeah, you're already sitting down, Tam, to like a meal, and you don't want to eat it,
Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
you want to eat half of it. So you want to
Yeah.
eat the dieting version of the meal,
Yeah.
and then by the second half, you're like, all right, crack the can,
Yeah.
Yeah.
take a swig, take a mouthful,
More
take a
barbecue
swig.
sauce. More barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
More barbecue sauce.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I would like between those options, I'd rather keep the food as is, not try to make it tastier, but maybe add a drink. Because you can only make it so tasty and then get sick of it as the volume increases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe just have full sugar soft drink.
Yeah, you know what? That thought never crossed my
Because it's
mind.
like don't drink calories, right? But like, why not?
Just out of habit, I'll just go to the shops and
Yeah.
just buy the diet one.
Yeah.
Because
Because
just
they
like,
taste the same now.
well, yeah, that's it. And,
Just have to buy both, so Steph isn't drinking it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely
Yeah. We
not,
used to
not
have
in her meal plan.
we used to have both in our house all the time. Yeah, when I was on like 450, what was that I get up to? Like 650 carbs.
Yeah,
And it was like, okay, there's no Coke sugar now.
Mm.
That Coke, no sugar. Like it's,
yeah. I was thinking about getting V8 juice again.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just having a glass.
Juice is sketchy.
Oh, look, you boys.
No. If you,
On
a
the-
glass,
on the
Yeah,
guts.
I was gonna say you boys are alright. These guts are
was
fucking made of
advised-
steel.
was advised to drink juice during my workout.
Oh,
And I had a liter.
Nah, cordial during your workout.
Yeah.
You don't need
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
you didn't finish the
I went home
workout.
early.
yeah. It's like a fuck ton of like not the right sugars at the right time too, right?
Yeah.
Because isn't it like post workout you want to have a little bit of fruit? And it's like fructose and then a little
Well,
bit of like.
You're not meant to scull a liter of that V8.
I would never scull a liter of that.
No, it wasn't
Yeah.
the V8. It was like the cheap fucking
Right.
Yeah.
Coles brand juice.
Yeah.
V8's too expensive to drink 3 liters a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been on the poke bowls at home.
I seen
This
that.
week?
Me too.
Very nice.
You copying me?
No, I did lol when I saw yours though.
Yeah, I laughed. I was like influencer.
Yeah.
So I said to myself,
I don't know if we've spoken about it much on the podcast before, but my wife like eats like a child.
"Oh yeah, we have, yeah." Like my wife's very similar.
Yeah. So vegetables, nah. Some fruits, very few fruits. But obviously now she's breastfeeding. It's
Yeah.
like I have
got to
to
get
be-
some nutrients in.
I have to be way more conscious
Yeah,
at the moment. So basically, like whatever hormone. bleh. Fuck, it's gonna be a big day. Her hormones are doing
I didn't
obviously
bring the
reflects
daffodil
onto
either.
him. Me either. So we had like he's got all these pimples. We're like, fuck, all right, we need to
Yeah,
like the 2 liters of strawberry milk a day. we might need to look at alternatives.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's gone on the smoothies and she suggested the poke bowls at night. I'm like, fucking oath, let's go.
Poke bowl is so easy.
The only thing is like, so we've been having the Penko for fucking 6 months.
Yeah.
And I just have...
Breaking your routine, you feeling okay?
Also, yes. No, I'm not.
No, now he's just going to eat poke bowls for 10 years.
Correct. But the issue is I just put frozen vegetables in a container, in water, in the microwave, and then that's all my vegetables, right? I'll have like 250, 300 grams of that. It's not tasty, but it's fast, right? But Amy would never eat that.
How sad did that sound?
Yeah, I don't get it.
That's my vegetables.
I get it. It's fine. I accept your judgment. But like, all right, now we're going to have
a single guy's meal.
100%. I still eat like a single male.
Lives by himself.
Ironically, like if it was Amy's choice, we'd probably just have chips.
Yeah.
Instead of rice.
Or the rice and the chicken.
Yeah. Well, that's what she has.
Yeah.
With no vegetables.
I've heard people switching to the winter mix frozen veggies.
Yeah, I do that as well.
Yeah.
Let's get canned veggies.
Canned.
Yeah, like edamame beans,
Oh.
corn.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they're canned veggies.
Yeah.
It's not like canned broccoli.
So that takes microwave time's 4 minutes, but prep time is 10 seconds.
Yeah.
But the poke bowl, I've got to cut up the avocado. I've got to get the umami beans out. I've got to get a can of corn out. It's like
That
so
is
many
such a
extra,
privileged
so much
sentence.
extra steps. I'm like, this sucks.
It's so much
Why
better.
can't you
I
just
even
eat-
wash my rice to cook it in.
I'll wash my rice now.
Do you use sushi rice?
No.
Cool.
So
What happened?
Elaborate.
So I went out to make the first night. Amy's like, there's sushi rice in there. I'm fucking tearing this cupboard apart. Like, there's no sushi rice.
Yeah.
She's like, it's in a black
Yeah.
bag.
container. Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm like, okay, cool. Because Amy puts everything
Yeah.
label maker.
Yeah, cool.
So I'm like,
Nice.
there's no black container with rice in it. I find this other one that has rice in it. It's got a maroon lid. I'm like, is this it? She's like, yeah. I'm like, there's 60 grams of it. She's like, oh. I'm like, so I spent like 10 minutes trying to organize sushi rice, and we just didn't have enough. So we've just used normal rice.
Yeah. Normal rice is okay.
When you cook your sushi rice, do you actually go through because the Thermomix told me I had to soak it for 30 minutes first. I'm not about it.
Oh, no, I just rinse it. I've rinsed it, and then I'll put it in. I've never had an issue. Always fluffy.
Sweet.
It's always fluffy and sticky.
So
I
next,
just love that.
next shop. So Dad's been doing all our groceries.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Dad.
And you got to get
next time he goes to the supermarket for us.
you got to get
some
rice
sushi.
wine vinegar.
Yep.
Because that's what makes it taste that little bit sweet.
Yeah. So the Thermomix, I think, had sugar in the recipe.
Yeah. Yeah. We use the rice wine vinegar, a little bit of soy. That's the left, right, good night.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah. That's my lunch. Yeah.
But yeah, they're good. Big fan.
Yeah.
So I still have the panko chicken. I
Just
put it
on
in my
it.
poke bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course you do. It's like transition period, right? All right, quick break in the episode, guys. Just wanted to talk about coaching. So we at STCfit are committed to taking your body composition, training, performance, your health and well-being all to the next level. Our experienced team of coaches are ready to help you get the most out of yourself. You don't just have to be a powerlifter or a bodybuilder or an athlete. You just need to be somebody who knows that you have a lot of potential and want to reach it. And you can join the team by heading to the website, submitting a coaching inquiry form, and one of our coaches will get in touch with you. All right, let's get back to the episode. All right, I've got a story to tell you.
Good.
It happened at the gym.
I like stories.
Oh, gym story.
Yeah, it's back at the gym. This one's interesting. No, it's not. Oh, it is. So I wanted to use the Smith machine.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on a leg extension. No, what was I doing? I was doing calf raises, hamstring curls. Dude was on a leg extension, totally fine. He gets off. I'm like, hey, bro, are you done with that? And he's like, yeah, man. Walks away. Weights piled on the side. So I'm like, I don't want to use these. And he was like, so then I said to him, can you take the weights off? And he's like, what? And I said, can you take the weights off? And he's like, what weights? So this dude's like 25, 6'1".
Yep.
Not big, but like of a an ethnicity that has lots of cousins. Let's just put it like that. So I'm like, his mates over there. I'm like, fuck.
How far do I push this?
So I'm like, once someone says something stupid, I got no filter. You know what I mean? So when he said what weights, I go, the ones on the bar. Like, just like that. I just said, the ones on the bar, bro. Like, I said, I'm not using those. So I said, can you take them off? Like, I said, I put my weights away.
Yeah.
And then he goes, like, he stood there, he stared at the ground, and he's like, I'll take one off. So he said, one.
The fuck?
And I go, no, you fucking won't. I said, you'll take them off. I said, what are you going to leave one on for? And he goes to me, I just don't like the way you asked me. And I said, what the fuck do you want me to do? Grovel for you to do so? I go, what the fuck do you want me to do? Grovel for something that you should do anyway?
Yeah.
I said, oh, everyone's supposed to put their weights away, bro.
Yeah.
I said, well, what's the problem here?
Yeah.
I said, just take the fucking weights off. And he's like, you just could have asked a bit nicer. And I said, well, you could have just taken them off before I even had the fucking chance to ask you. And I said, to be fair, I asked you a question. So I said, I don't really understand the problem here.
Yeah.
So then he's like, yeah, I'll do it this time. I was just like, and then his mate stops mid-set. His mate stops. He starts walking over. I'm like, oh my God, why does this happen to me? So I tried to do a bit of reflection. I was like, maybe I've come on a bit too strong.
Yeah.
But I literally just said hey, can you take the weights off? And then it started to become a problem.
Yeah.
So Steph was saying he probably just felt stupid.
Yeah.
And then he didn't know how to.
Yeah.
But then once he said the dumb thing, I would have just been as blunt as you could believe.
Yeah, it's like, I know I've done the wrong thing, but also I don't like authority and being told what to do. So now I don't know how to handle the situation.
Yeah. Well, so that's what I forgot that bit. So that's one bit. I was like, okay, you obviously don't like being told what to do. I said, you obviously don't like being asked what to do.
Yeah.
So I said, no one can ask you a question. And he just looked at me and I was like, man, just take the fuck off, bro. Get the fuck out of here. So then obviously a bit of the ego came out after that. So I was like, fuck this guy. So there was 2 10s on each side. So he took them off. I'm like, fuck this. So I did one set with a 20 on each side, and then I just put it to 3 plates aside. And I was just fucking pumping these reps out.
How did PB?
And then racked it. And he was I could see he was looking over. So I'm like, fuck, man, is this dude going to rally his lads and fight? Yeah, because it's that kind of gym. As we've established.
Yeah, waiting for you in the car.
Yeah.
Shit.
So then I racked the last set, and then I just made the biggest deal of putting all the weights away. 6 plates, bang, putting them away. I'm like, fuck you, man. Put your fucking weights away. Yeah. And who would have thought that the person that doesn't put their weights away maybe doesn't have a really big, strong, and muscular physique?
Yeah.
Who would have thought? What a commonality that is.
How you do one thing is how you do everything. Shortcuts. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
The where I train, the culture of putting shit away is so good.
It should be.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah. I even I tend to do a single arm cable row more than a handle.
Mm.
But I have to take the V grip off every time.
Yeah.
But I always put it back on. Because it's I know everyone wants the V grip. I don't want the single handles. But it's no, but you could use the single handles. If you don't want the single handles, you can put it back.
I get it.
But it's that's just the culture of that gym is like that.
Yeah.
They have enough weight trees and the staff do it. It's just it's nice.
Yeah, most
places. Not a lot of gyms that are like that.
It's not too bad overall, but you just get those people, we'll call them.
Yeah.
Those people.
Yeah.
Just leave heaps of things loaded up. It is just not fair for a person my strength to just leave something loaded up. Because then it was a 50-year-old lady, and she went up to the Smith machine after I used it, and I was just that is the example that you make that no one believes you.
Yeah.
And it actually fucking happens.
Yeah, she's going to pull 120 kilos off it.
As if she's going to, and it's set, not that I'm tall, but it was I was squatting, so it was set at a height that she would have had to lift over her head.
Height, yeah.
It's these certain people just don't care about that shit.
Yeah, lack of conscientiousness.
Yeah, and then like you said, how you do everything, how you do one thing's how you do everything. So I'm never gonna sit there and go, oh, you got to work hard, you got to train to fail, you got to show up even when you don't want to, but leave all the weights on the machine for the person after you. Like, it's just
he doesn't put his cart back.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. He's a shit person. He needs to be
100%.
less shit, that dude.
Yeah. Litters, leaves the trolley out, doesn't let people merge.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah.
That shit.
Yeah, it's just against the world.
I give them the benefit of the doubt.
They're just not aware.
Yeah, they just low on conscientiousness. They just don't actually pay attention to what's going on around.
Other people.
I'm going to judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
I know these people.
Fair enough.
This particular one, it's not like that.
Yeah, it's a fuck you instead.
Exactly. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just an attitude thing. It's
Yeah.
just an attitude thing. Yeah, which I'm not about.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You validate Jason.
I just need to get off my chest.
Yeah.
But it didn't
Yeah.
ruin my workout. I had a great workout.
That's good.
Yeah.
You don't seem upset. You seem just like I'm just telling the story.
Yeah,
Which is good.
well, like, it wasn't, no, because even when he was like, 4 inches from me. And I was like, this can't go any further than this. Like, surely this can't escalate to a
Yeah.
fight. Like, like, surely not. Even in my head, I'm like, surely this can't. I'm so confident that this isn't going to happen.
Yeah. I did enjoy our exchange last time we played golf too.
Yeah, don't.
Old mate that hit up on us.
Yeah. Yeah. Got a little bit of a temper.
It was fairly controlled.
Yeah, but like, as soon as stupidity comes into it,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, the rationale is gone. It's
Yeah.
just like, you need to have a really good look at your own fucking actions. And I just hate the whole like sorry just like eradicates behavior.
Yeah.
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 Like I could have killed you, but I'm sorry. And sorry.
Yeah, and I didn't warn you or anything. It just like landed. I watched it all the way down because you were standing in the middle of the fairway.
Don't call 4.
I watched it land 3 feet from you, but I didn't say anything, and then I waved.
Yeah.
And we're cool.
Yeah. So if I hit you, like, oh,
Sorry, mate.
I said sorry, bro.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed because I had rehearsed it in my head. I'm like, if I see him,
Yeah.
I have to say something. And I hadn't even stepped off the tee box yet.
And I was just after him, man. I don't give a fuck.
Jace can do it.
Yeah. I don't care. It's just like,
Yeah, but they were like the most nerdy dudes too. So like,
for someone, yeah.
they sat after that. They sat like, it was one of those days. If you haven't played golf and you play school holidays
Oh,
on a Sunday afternoon, you wait at the tee box for 10 minutes every single time.
Yeah.
So the group behind you catches you, and they had been
yeah.
parking right behind us and waiting for us. but
After that, they weren't.
they chose not to. After
Yeah.
I actually think they let the group behind them through.
As a kid, like, I grew up avoiding confrontation because I had so much of it when I was younger.
Yeah,
Just fighting and fucking my brothers and whatever.
yeah,
So then, like, at one point in my adult life, I was just like, no,
not having it.
I'm not taking shit.
Yeah,
Like, if something requires me to go up to someone and say, that's not fucking on,
yeah,
I was like, I'm doing
I'm
it.
doing it. Yeah,
And ever since then, I'm just like,
yeah.
so be it.
I know you want to get onto the topic, but on this topic,
Yeah.
I've been trying to figure out what the fuck is going on the roads lately. Remember I had told you the story about
Oh, yeah, the guy on Colton Freeway?
He
Yeah.
tried to run me off
Yeah,
and shit.
yeah.
So it's happening heaps. People tailgating me, flashing me and shit. And I'm like, I speed. Like, fuck off. Like, I'm not in your way. If I'm going slowly, it's because there's another car in front of me. Fuck off.
I speed.
Look, I know what I'm doing, all right?
Yeah.
People forget, like, people think the right-hand lane is like,
The speeding lane?
is for the person who wants to speed the most.
It is.
It is.
But that's the overtaking lane.
That's why I clarified, because when someone says I was in the right-hand lane and someone tailgated me, I'm like, well, get out of the fucking way.
No, hang on. It is most definitely the overtaking lane, but you don't have to. You can still overtake a car to your left without wanting to go as fast as the person behind you.
Agreed, yes.
So as soon as you get the ability to tuck in,
Yes, get out of the way.
get out of the way. And
Yes.
but like,
and I'm a very conscientious driver.
people just like, they're like, I want to do 130, and like, I'm literally like passing cars, and they're just like, get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah.
You're blinking, whatever. It's like,
So I've been like, what is happening?
Mm.
I've never had this much interactions on the road in my whole life. And it's because I drive a little girl's car. So they just assume whoever's driving that car is not a threat and that they can bully them. Because it's 9 times out of 10, a Hilux.
yeah. It's a Hilux or a Ranger.
Yeah. So it's like, I'll just bully this, like,
Yeah.
either 25-year-old girl or
Yeah.
65-year-old woman. Like, I'll win this fight sort of thing. And
Yeah.
then they get next to you and they're like, oh, one guy the other day was like on the horn at me and shit because I didn't let him merge. Like, fuck you, speed up more.
Yeah.
So was like, went to abuse me and literally looked in the window and changed his posture.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so you've just assumed whoever's driving
Yeah.
this car, you can take them on, and
Yeah.
you've decided now you can't.
Yeah.
It's so weird, man. The only other time I had it was driving the Merc in the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Because everyone there drives four-wheel drives.
Yep.
And like Euro cars are
Yeah.
old people's cars. It was the same. It's like, it took me, how long have I had the car for? 6 months?
Yeah.
Longer.
Yeah.
Nearly a year. To be like, oh, this is why everyone thinks they can bully me. So now I'm ready.
That happens in my car. People think it's...
Do you like that or do you not like that?
No, it's annoying.
It's
Yeah.
pretty entertaining, though, when someone likes... When you know someone's, like, having a crack because they have assumed you're someone you're not.
Yeah.
And then you just, like,
Pretty fun.
put the
That's what I
window
mean.
down
Yeah.
and they stare at you and you're just like... You can see in their eyes, they're just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. So old mate that I didn't let merge, I wound my window down and he pulled away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hit the brakes, like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah, and then we got to like another exit, and when he exited, he wound his window down and put his arm out the window.
Oh,
and gave
yeah,
the finger. I was like,
Yeah, good
you
job.
look so pathetic
Tough.
now, bro.
You won the battle.
Yeah, tough, bro. Tough.
Yeah, it's hilarious. But yeah, old mate telling me to pull over was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into getting jacked. I've got a lot of other things to talk about. We'll talk about them on the other podcast. Ben and I, Joe Rogan today.
4 apps.
It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff. So I am currently trying to get huge.
Getting massive.
Yeah, trying. And tip the scales at 98.7 fasted today.
Oof.
Yeah, your boy's thick.
What'd you get down to? 94?
93, 92 and a half. So it's 92 and a half. When was the photo shoot?
November.
Yeah, look, when we say get down, I probably dropped like 3 kilos. Yeah, so November 93 was the lightest, and now your boy's 98.7. Yeah. Obviously enjoyed Christmas. Had a good holiday, but it's like I wasn't like I'm not just eating like a fat fuck, just getting fat. Like I'm trying to get big.
Yeah.
So it's like 250 grams protein, and you guys were we were talking about already just some of the challenges that you can face when you put on weight. So what I wanted to do today is just like go into some of those things, like talk about how we approach these things, what the harsh realities are, pros and cons.
Yeah.
Maybe when to pull the pin on it, because I'm kind of getting to that point. Because like I only had 3 months. I was like November was a write-off. So it was like December, January, February. And then I've got to start like kind of thinking about cutting down for my holiday because I need a little bit more time. Like there's too much shit going on. And as much as I can sit there and say I'm going to do the rapid fat loss protocol like a month out, it's like, we're fucking about to have like 500,000 businesses.
We also have shit to do.
Yeah. So I thought we'd go into the weeds on it today. So the good when it comes to adding on size, what would some of the good things that you think going into a surplus is?
More freedom with your diet.
Absolutely. So I had that one. Variety.
So, like lower consequences for like social.
Yeah. A little more flexibility.
Yeah. I can like go out and order food and not have
Yeah.
to be like, fuck, there's nothing on the menu I can really eat. Like that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
absolutely. Anything else that really comes to mind?
There's a lot in the short term that wear off.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm conscious of. So it's like the food selection's great
Yeah.
until it's not.
Yeah. We'll talk about the cons after this. Stop ruining my
Yeah.
podcast.
Energy pumps,
Yeah.
sleep, feeling full. Yeah, especially with my like dysmorphia. As soon as I'm not overflowing with carbohydrates, I feel small.
Yeah.
So that's good as well.
Yeah.
Training performance. Yeah.
Yeah. So they pretty much knocked the nail on the head on all this. So a decreased hunger. Sometimes it's nice not to feel hungry, as you said. Improved energy. One thing I've noticed the most is I'm at like 1 coffee a day now.
Mm.
Yeah. So like I can I can have a second one if I feel like it.
Yep.
But sometimes I have just out of pure need or desire for the taste.
Yep.
Not the caffeine. I'm like a bit of an anxious mess at the end of the day, and because of that, I feel like I've been sleeping better.
Yeah.
So because I'm not having that caffeine hit at like 2 p.m.
Yep.
I'm sleeping better because I want to. It's 10 p.m. and I'm like, fucking starting to slobber and shit.
Yeah, and you've had bolus carbohydrates before bed as
Correct.
well, probably.
Yeah, correct. So those things are really desirable, but some of them do, like you said, like have an expiry date. Some of them do wear off. So then I thought, well, the not so good, like I just said, is the appetite fatigue.
Yeah.
Like, holy moly. Like, I don't know, like people, when someone describes like how many calories they're on, and maybe they look at like a day's worth of food, in isolation, to the not educated, we'll call them, that sounds delightful.
Yeah, someone that's always chasing lower.
Yeah,
less.
correct. Yeah, and then so like you wake up, you have like a bowl of oatmeal and some whey and peanut butter and stuff, and like, oh, it sounds good. And then you add more calories, like probably put some honey, and then you put cinnamon on top to kind of make the flavor a little bit different than just sugar and shit.
Yeah,
and then you're having chicken and rice, and just macing it with fucking all kinds of flavor, and then stacking muesli bars and LCMs and eating Frosty cereal, and they're like, oh, that's mad. Like, eating ice cream and shit. To do that every day,
gets rough, man.
Man, there's just something like it is a different kind of torture to sit to a meal and eat it even if you don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't know if like your mum and dad ever made you like eat your meal after.
I didn't eat broccoli for like 10 years.
Yeah, so like, did you ever have to eat your dinner for breakfast once? So
nah.
Yeah, so that was
Oof.
Yeah, so I'm amazed that I can eat anything.
Yeah.
Because like that should scar a man, right?
Yeah.
So it only happened once, but Mum followed through with her threat.
Yeah.
And I called her bluff on it many times. And I just remember one day it was just like the mashed potato was just there. It's like, you're fucking, this is you, bro. Like,
fuck.
So it's kind of like a similar torture to that.
Yeah,
it's just like you don't want it.
Yeah.
And just every mouthful is just like,
like
goes in, you just sit there fucking swimming around in your mouth, and you just like, so yeah, the appetite fatigue is crazy. And that's where you got to get creative.
Yeah.
That is when texture is important, flavor, palate is important, like different flavors.
Consistency with meals too. Missing a meal in a surplus like that.
Absolutely.
Like, it's the worst.
What do we,
you get to 6 p.m. and you're like, oh my God, I need to eat 2.5.
So when we're on that call yesterday with Max,
I
started getting anxious because the call was going longer than I thought it was gonna. And I'm like, if I don't eat now, I can't eat before dinner.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to have to eat a big dinner and then eat again.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll be back. Just come back with like a box of delights and like 3 LCMs and a protein shake. This is the saddest meal ever.
Yeah.
So then I had food fatigue. So where that's different to appetite fatigue is you actually just get over eating the food.
Yeah.
Like a particular food.
Yeah, I do that with oats real quick.
Get over chicken. Like I'm for some reason I just can't eat cream rice at the moment.
Yeah. That's your signature,
Bro. And I'm like, why? I'm like, and I try to talk myself into eating it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you love it. You love it.
Yeah, it's your favorite.
You can make it in so many different flavors. You can use so many different fruits but I'm like, I know what it is. It's the idea of eating like 800 to a kilo of food.
Yeah.
Because it'd have to have like 150 grams of carbs in it.
Yeah.
And whatever.
Yeah.
Oh.
I remember doing like...
I can't do it.
200 grams of oats with peanut butter and honey.
200 grams raw.
I reckon it was. It was like Poliquin days, bro.
Fuck, that is so much.
Yeah, it was horrid. And I would literally just sit there with the honey and just progressively add more as I got more palate fatigue. It was like by the bottom of the bowl, it's like you may as well just drink the honey, bro.
I think I was at about 400 grams cooked rice in a meal. I think that's the most. And it's like, I'm like, oh yeah, rice digests really well. up until a certain amount.
Yeah, nothing
Like-
digests well when it's a kilo
Yeah,
of it.
fucking 400 grams of cooked rice. The bowl was like fucking overflowing.
Yeah,
So yeah, food fatigue is suck. Like, there's nothing worse than like knowing you should eat and not wanting anything.
yeah,
You know, there's been a few times it's just like I don't actually want to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if people like, I don't know if like elite level bodybuilders just like don't have it, or they do some form of like mental practice to
Yeah.
just like,
a lot of them talk about it. It's the same as training. Like,
yeah, it's just,
Just do it, hey.
it's another rep. Like, it's another,
yeah.
it's another heavy set. It's the
Yeah,
same
fuck.
intensity to get the food in.
I wonder.
Ronnie used to talk about that heaps.
Maybe you just
He
need
also
go-
used to have like a liter of barbecue sauce a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even when he was cutting, it was just like, he's just like, good old chicken.
Yeah.
And then like, he just like,
Yeah. Like, it's obviously worth considering.
he's getting like 100 grams of carbs a day on barbecue sauce.
Yeah. Exogenous insulin
Fuck,
obviously helps as well.
Bit of,
Talk about sugar-free soft drink.
Yeah,
Worry about
yeah.
the barbecue sauce.
like there's one part he's like in his car, because he's still on patrol.
Yeah.
And he just opens this
I can
lunch
picture
box.
the scene.
He just
exactly what
opens
you're
his
talking
lunch
about.
box and it's just swimming.
Yeah.
Like the chicken was brown from the barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
Like it just,
He's
and he just
marinated.
eating it and he's just licking his fingers and shit. And it's like he was cutting for the Olympia. Yeah, so maybe that's how you do it. You just
Yeah.
drown everything in sauce.
I think, the pros would all be leveraging insulin for that.
Yeah.
For
Well,
that.
like, they take anabolics and stuff as well. So it's like
Yeah.
fat burning capacity is higher depending on the
Yeah.
the compounds that you're using as well. Then I had feeling, so just feeling slow, man.
Yeah. So this is the one for the women
The chicks,
that like,
females.
I
sorry.
feel so bloated. I feel so,
It's real Aussie of me coming out. I know people don't like that, so I shouldn't
yeah,
say that.
yeah.
So you ration, you caught it.
That's it. 2024.
All we ask for is growth.
More in 2024. Awareness.
Yeah, they actually have a girl right now we dieted for quite a long time with 3-week diet breaks,
Yep.
probably for a year.
Good strategy for a female, a lifestyle client.
Yeah, yeah. So she's a power lifter, so it was like we needed lower and slower because lifting heavy, we couldn't go super aggressive with
Yeah.
the cut, and then it was like basically when as soon as training performance dropped, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And cycle that. Now it's like competition time, a little bit longer this time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, moving into comp, and she really doesn't need to
A little bit
lose
longer, a little
anymore.
less longer diet breaks.
Yeah.
Trying to get there.
And she doesn't need to anymore either. It's more her body composition goal than needing to make a weight class or anything
Yeah.
like that. So,
Yeah.
just like within the first 2 weeks, it's like, I feel so bloated. I feel so this. I feel so that. It's like, yes, and not really. Like,
It's subjective.
yeah, the feeling of the bloat isn't fat. Like, you didn't get fat straight away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, if you push, I know a lot of, I don't know if you're feeling it, but like a lot of female clients in particular, as soon as they get that influx of calories, they get the lethargy, they get the little bit of it. You do have the distension because you're eating twice the food volume.
Yes, kilos
So when you
of
go to
food.
bed at night, there's a fuckload of food in there.
Mm.
So things like that can be misinterpreted, that if you haven't experienced and you've been told your whole life that you need to be light
and nimble, and
then it's a big thing.
absolutely, yeah, and like it does slow, like even just the added weight too. So it's like it's the feeling, but then it's also the feeling of the food and like being full.
Yeah.
But then it's the added weight and feeling of moving it around.
Yeah.
Like I think I told you already. I said to Steph, let's go for a walk. And like, yeah, I reckon I put on about 5 kilos. I feel like it wasn't that quick.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 months, it's probably quite quick when you think about
Fuck
it.
yeah.
3 months, maybe.
Yeah.
And like your boy's not smashing stuff, all right? This is
Yeah.
being done legit. Not legit, but like, yeah, mate. It's just like everyone's going to sit there and go, oh,
Ish.
yeah, how many Anadrol tabs are you having? It's like, no, we're having a break at the moment.
Yeah.
So I think because I added the weight and I haven't moved as much, because the bigger you are, the less you want to move.
Yeah.
Man, she was gapping me, dude.
Yeah.
and I couldn't catch it. I couldn't keep up with it. I had to, you know that meme where like the guy's like shopping with his girlfriend and like just drags her away from the shops that she wants to go into.
Yeah.
I had to do that. I was like
Wait for me.
I was like a sled, and she was like my reindeer. Like I was
Yeah.
like, stop. Like I was pulling her back. So fuck you doing?
I'm just picturing the Olsen twin meme. Like, wait for me, I have little legs.
Oh, I was just like, I was like, I physically cannot catch you.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm not even doing anything. And I'm
I
like,
think there is definitely a tax on the cardiovascular
oh, absolutely.
respiratory system.
Yeah, and even just like having to propel extra
Yeah.
mass.
Yeah.
Like,
It's so interesting. I don't know. It's interesting to hear you say that having been bigger before.
yeah.
Because I've only... So I remember getting to 90 kilos the first time. And we always laugh about going to get coffee that time.
Yeah.
I was like only 86 kilos there.
yeah, it was just
But I'd put on 10.
yeah. I reckon
Um,
if the quicker you put it on too,
The worst.
the less fit, like the bigger the tax is on the body.
Yeah. And then I got to 90.
Yeah.
And that was like taking breaks, walking to the coffee shop and shit like that, because back pumps and feet and whatever. And then I've spent the last 18 months at 90 kilos running 5Ks,
Yeah.
training. It's just like, this is just normal now.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
can move and I can wash my own back and all of that.
Yeah, if I get to 90 now, I'll be like, oh, I'm light as a feather.
Yeah. Yeah, I really thought I was really fast last week. I was on the bag. I really thought I was.
Yeah. Some of those kicks were great.
Yeah.
You did good, man.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Yeah. But yeah, it's coming back from a heavier weight. So getting up to 102, coming back to 90. I'm like, oh. So it's interesting that you've been kind of that 105 before
Yeah.
and you still
Oh,
coming
yeah.
back up feel like, ugh.
So that was, but like, so if this is a feeling and we grade the feeling when I was 105 and this 98,
Yeah.
this feeling's like a 3. And when I was 105, it was like a 9.9. Like,
Yeah.
your boy couldn't move.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
like, had to wear 2XL t-shirts to sit. And
Yeah.
I had to sit off a chair at the comedy festival. I don't know how big people go out.
Yeah.
Do they just not? Because like, I'm like,
Uncomfortable all the
don't
time.
care what anyone says. I'm not that big compared to other people.
Yeah.
Right? There's bigger
Yeah,
people
yeah.
out there. So I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck do they do?
Yeah.
Like, where do they go?
Even just like big humans.
like, how do they go to how do they sit at a restaurant?
Yeah.
The chairs are small
yeah.
and the table's small. Like, just sit like this, like hunched over. Like, "Grr." How do you get on a plane? Like,
Yeah. And imagine being like
Yeah.
6'2"
yeah.
and big. I always
Yeah.
thought of that like walking around that 95 to 100.
Yeah.
Like, imagine being 110 and 6'3".
Yeah. It's just,
How do you do anything?
yeah, agreed. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, anyway, sucks to be them, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, win for the 5'8" guys for once.
Yeah, who are like 30 kilos
Yeah,
overweight.
we get swiped no on Tinder all the time, but fucking can sit in a chair.
Not concealing my age if I'm ever single again. Sorry, not concealing my
My
height
height, yeah.
or my age. All right. So then, quick break in the episode, guys. If you're looking for more information on how you can look, feel, and perform better, head over to our website. Take advantage of all of the content that we have there. Even the YouTube channel, there's plenty of videos and stuff on there. Also, rotating free resources that you guys can access completely free. Okay, let's get back to the episode. What I thought would be good though is to now go into like some of the strategies we use to like stay in a growth phase as long as possible.
Yeah.
Because for some people, like I've got clients that are like literally going on 12 months,
Mm-hmm.
so massing the whole time,
Yep.
and they're over it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we're just like, it's kind of like not worth not doing it because of the next phase.
Yeah,
It's all timing, right? So
Yeah,
if we start,
Yeah, I basically did 5 years.
yeah, well, that's it.
Yeah.
So and they're over it, but there's like certain things that we've done to obviously make sure that we can stay in there.
Yeah.
And then, you know, even for me, I'm like, I'm going hard because it's short, but I
Yeah.
want to make sure that I can do the 12 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to shake some shit up
Yeah.
in the next month because I need to make sure that I can still show up irrespective of the fact that, like, you know, I feel big and I feel slow and I feel this. It's like, because then, you know, the next 4 months, it's go time.
Yeah.
You know, there's
Yeah, and you'll be
less
wishing.
calories. Yeah, that's it. And
Yeah.
yeah, you're moving more, and because you're getting lighter, you're getting fitter, and
Yeah.
you know, whatever. You think you're fast and you're not. Yeah, like Just all these things going on.
Melton Derrimut, Saturday mornings. I'll see you there. Show me your
Is
kicks.
that where you've been training?
It's actually a really nice gym.
I have not a doubt that it wouldn't be.
It's a different style Derrimut. Like Derrimut's usually huge open space.
Yeah.
It's quite like little room here, upstairs, little room there, corner, little room here. It's really nice.
Yeah, right.
And obviously, the boxing open floor area, because I don't have that in my gym. So I have to go somewhere else.
Probably not the demographic.
Yeah.
Don't want people punching.
It's good.
Does that have a speedball?
I don't think so.
Good.
Yeah. The only shit thing was like they have a ring, and I was like there like trying to teach myself how to elbow and kick.
Yeah.
Just from visual interpretations from other people with no cueing. It's, smart.
Yeah.
And these two guys walked in with like MMA shirts and the like proper shorts. They started like doing all these stretches and wrapping their hands and stuff. I'm like, oh fuck, these guys actually know what they're doing.
Yeah, man.
And I'm that shit guy in the corner like, look how fast I am. Yeah, so I felt like a newbie, but that was fun. But the gym's sick. So shout out to Derrimut Melton.
There you go. I wonder if they'll ban tripods. Anyway, so number one thing to stay in your growth phase as long as possible is have a plan.
Yeah.
And it's like, and a plan with your nutrition. Like, don't, like, you can't, like, I get it, there's a little bit more rope, like, the flexibility is there, especially if you have a coach, more food variety, but the calories, like, have to be set. The protein has to be set. Like, you do need to have, an idea of, like, kind of what's going in. Like, I don't like the idea of just, like, I'm just going to eat everything. Like, to stay in a mass phase as long as possible, you want to make sure the quality of that weight is, good. Is good.
Yeah.
The ratio of weight gain is more towards your protein than your kind of fat mass and non-contractile tissue. In order to do that, you kind of need to track and measure, kind of what's happening.
Yeah.
Definitely doesn't have to be as strict as you are if you're like dieting and contest prep, whatever, or, photo shoot, etc. And you can kind of check in, less frequently when it comes to your physique, like maybe 1 to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because it's going to take that time to kind of respond to that new, kind of elevation in calories and whatever.
Yeah.
From there, like you mentioned before, having some form of like semi-rigid feeding pattern, super important. Like, if you get up late one day and miss your first meal by an hour or two, like, you're fucked.
It hurts, yeah.
Yeah, you're pushing shit uphill, and you've got to try and get that meal back in somewhere else. Like, most of the time, you've probably prepared it, or you can't scatter that meal across the other ones because it's not the same.
Yeah.
And if you've prepared it, it's got to go down the hatch. So making sure you have, like, a set feeding pattern is really, really vital. And sometimes you might have to get up earlier to get the food in.
Yeah.
Like, when you're dieting, you can't almost do the opposite. Like, if you had it your way, like, you'd just sleep for 16 hours.
Yeah, just get up at 10 o'clock.
It's like, I don't have a job. I don't have anything to do. I'm just going to sleep all day because I'm hungry.
Intermittent fasting, a.k.a. sleeping.
Yeah. The worst thing is when you're dieting, though, is like you wake up at fucking the crack of dawn because your body's just stressed as fuck.
Yeah.
You're just like, fuck, I need to go back to sleep. I can't eat for like another 5 hours. So you're doing like the time restricted feed. But anyway, I think you need to get up, maybe get up a bit earlier, make sure you get the food in there. One thing people don't really kind of look into too much, and I feel like a lot of people don't get enough calories in to ever need to, is actually have a really good look at like food residue. Like, we talk about it a lot. Like, you get the pushback when you start to say like, you need to start looking into like simpler kind of carbohydrates and, so what, like, do you have like a philosophy on that, or do you just like go, meet your protein, have some veggies and fruits, and then just eat whatever the fuck you want? Or
so by accident, I've always done, and it's part of my, as we've discovered earlier in the episode, quite lazy with my food. Generally speaking, my 3 meals look exactly the same every day, and have done for fucking 5 years.
Yeah.
So going into a surplus was just adding more.
Agreed.
Either the snacks, I'm choosing this instead of that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, instead of just whey protein and water, it's like, I'll have it up and go. Like, just, you know what I mean? Just building those calories in. So my philosophy is, provided you're getting, the easiest way to measure is just like, provided you're getting enough fiber without supplementing it, just eat what you need to eat to get it in.
Yeah.
The only pushback I've seen is more so around like a little bit of feeling, like start to feel a bit shit.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, I'm like, are you doing your training, you're sleeping, are you doing your cardio, which is probably something on your list as well. If you're doing all those things, the feeling thing, it's like it just sucks.
Yeah.
But also I see a little bit of like skin seems to be the big thing, particularly with my girls, that gets in the way.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, you're going to have to push up your sugar. And then they're like, oh, I've got like pimples and shit. And they're like, that's obviously a problem. So that becomes a little more challenging. I was pretty lucky. I could push sugar hard and didn't get much reaction that way.
Yeah. For others, they might have to push the fats and the carbs up together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I agree with everything that you just said. Like, I think I like the idea of having just like a baseline of diet requirement for like nourishment, what I call.
Yeah.
So it's just like, to sustain the system, give it what it needs from a micronutrient perspective.
Yeah.
And then because then like you can always go back to that nourishment, like diet, that foundation, we call it diet, right? And then from there, it's like, cool, I add on top of that extra energy.
Yeah.
Because outside of like nourishment for a bodybuilder is high protein. And then it is micronutrient.
Yeah.
So it's like getting the enough for them to just like retain the mass. From there, it's like the extra requirements is energy, and we get to decide where that energy comes from there. Because like in the foundation part, you're probably having a little bit of rice. You're probably having like maybe some pasta or potato or whatever it is that you want to eat to kind of get that bit in. I wouldn't go with the potato or the pasta because it's a bit too heavy.
Yeah.
Especially because you got to eat
again
so much later. So I think in that instance, just find foods that like you, and you can digest them really well. And then from there, it's like look at how you can get those extra calories in a way that's low residue, but dense in calories. So drinking them's a great way.
Yeah.
Muesli bars and like those energy bars, like is it like the Cliff ones? Like they're crazy dense,
right?
In terms of carbohydrates. So. Yeah, there's easy ways to kind of eat a high amount of energy, but not consume a large amount of kind of food volume.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a huge catalyst to like the success and a repeated success of someone on the diet. Because like I said before, it's hard when you don't want to eat. So if you can reduce the amount of volume going in your stomach, there's less stress on the system. It's easy to kind of do. And then, there's other things. Yeah, that's it. And then the likelihood of you wanting to eat your next meal is higher.
Yeah, I think that's another important thing too, is like people get scared of having the simple carbohydrates.
Yeah.
But then they're chasing the calories still, and they end up with fucking 50, 60, 70 grams of fiber a day and then wonder why they feel shit.
Yeah. Because they're looking for foods that they've been told that they should eat. But like those foods have been told to people, like to a population who don't eat well.
Yeah, and who don't train.
Yeah, so they're like, so it's like we're taking information that's delivered to someone who's not us.
Yeah, correct.
Because like we're overactive individuals. Like, and then we do strength and power activities as well on top of that. So like even the protein thing, it's like if you have skin, nails, organs, hair, you need protein.
Yeah.
And then, so everyone needs it.
Yeah.
And then if you engage in strength and power, if you're overactive now, or if you're active, you need more protein. If you're overactive, you need even more protein. If you go in strength and power sports, you need even more protein.
Yeah.
If you fucking want to grow muscle mass, you need even more protein.
Yeah.
Like you see how it's just like, so we're taking information based on like a populace that's not really kind of directed to us. So that's where not having those foods that are like, kind of complex, from a carbohydrate perspective and like, clean, I guess is an easier way to categorize them. We do need to kind of get some of the dirty foods in.
Yeah.
The bad ones. the yummy ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's a good one. And then the next one, which people don't probably do and should, and we spoke about it just for briefly, is do cardio.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been like spin bike, 10 minutes, 3 times a day.
Perfect.
I'm going to do 20 minutes in the morning though, because I'm training for High Rocks apparently.
You heard it here, Sin. You heard it, bro.
Training for High Rocks apparently.
Doing it.
We're doing the team one.
Jason's doing all the running and the lunges.
Was it 2Ks?
Yeah.
How long?
That's not too bad.
I could do 2.
Yes.
It just wouldn't be long.
It's like
it just wouldn't be quick.
Yes, like 10, 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. It's a fair bit. Anyway, 20 minutes in the morning, And then 10 minutes there, but like periodically throughout the day, but the 10 minutes periodically throughout the day has got nothing to do with my heart and lungs. It's purely for my digestion.
Yeah.
So just getting the body moving, getting the blood flowing, you know,
I
kind of
wonder
stagnant.
if that's also why you don't need the coffee.
Possibly. Yeah, absolutely. So I think that people get into the idea that, like, you know, putting on mass, like, you know, you can't do cardio, and I fell victim to that as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like the degree, the amount of cardio definitely can influence, you know, the amount of muscle. So there can be an interference on it, but it's like...
But the calorie output from your activity is going to be multiplied by your ability to eat.
Correct. And you've got to... You kind of like... If you're doing 5 days a week weight training for 2 hours... it's not even the hours makes no difference. But anyway, if you're doing 5 weight sessions a week and you're throwing a lot of weight around, you know, you're throwing thousands of kilos around. Let's just use the volume load instead. Doing 20 minutes of like activity that isn't even at the intensity of you like having a fucking session with your missus.
Yeah,
like you're not interfering with nothing. It's like there's no
fine.
like it doesn't require that much effort.
You're circulating blood.
Yeah, it's like it'd be no different. It's no different to like if you just went for a walk to get like food.
Yeah,
you know, and you had to walk to the supermarket.
Yeah, because you did it deliberately, it's a problem.
Yeah,
right?
it's like, oh no, it's cardio. It's gonna fuck my gains up.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what if you didn't have a fucking car?
Yeah,
like, you know, and then you just look at other people who just like do it all, and you're like, well, fuck, if they do it, like how can you?
Yeah, like if you're a tradie can build muscle, you'll be fine.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So the cardio one is definitely it. And then I think there's a little bit of merit every now and then to.
So just on the cardio, one thing that I've noticed the most is the consistency of your cardio is hypercritical to the long term. To being able to sustain the diet long term based on how you feel.
So are you saying more frequency is better than like density? Yeah,
because it can be if you have a low week, that next week's so much fucking harder.
Yeah,
to go for that walk and your wife runs away from you, or you get the feet cramps, or you get the puffed, and it's like, fuck, man, this is so hard. And then it's like, it getting really heavy gave me so much more empathy for people that are large wanting to lose weight.
Yeah, because you don't want to move.
Because I literally was like the effort of me putting my shoes on and putting the lead on my dog is enough friction for me not to go.
Yeah.
And then you give it another 4 days and it's worse, and it's worse. Imagine that for the fat loss fat population.
Absolutely.
Like fuck, man.
Imagine getting. You know how we always like say you got to get over the hump.
Yeah.
You know, like get into the swing of things, even after a break and stuff. Like some people struggle with that. Like other people don't, whatever.
Yeah.
Imagine breaking through that period where it's real hard and then, you know, for whatever reason, something getting in the way and having to do it
again and again.
Yeah. And it's like, and it's because then all it is negative reinforcement.
Yeah.
There's never, because you're doing something and never seeing a positive. And granted, you're not doing it for long enough, but you can definitely understand how it's just like, it's not just like you're lazy.
Yeah.
You know,
so I was looking back on when we were doing this, particularly like when we were in lockdown and stuff, when I got my heaviest. It's like the only thing we could do was go outside for half an hour.
Yeah, so
we were pretty diligent with it, but the second you didn't, I noticed, and I mean like Absolutely. In 3 days.
Yeah.
So it was funny, and I'm not comparing the two. Just to be very clear for all the female audience, especially to the mums, I'm not comparing the two. But there was so many similarities watching Amy get heavier.
Yeah.
And the way she would explain things and what she would say, I was able to be like, yeah, I totally get it because I've felt that feeling before. And we were the same. It's like, you can't miss a week of walks.
No.
Because you're going to put on a kilo, 250 grams, 500 grams a kilo in that week.
Yeah.
And that hill is going to be twice as big next week.
Yeah.
So we have to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And yes. And then the last thing that I was going to say to lean on now, which I'm starting to do, is supplementation.
Yep.
So insulin. No, I'm kidding. Digestive enzymes are coming in now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bringing in the
doctor's best.
Yeah. Bringing in the formula. A bit of bromelain, bit of what else is in there? HCl or whatever.
Yeah.
Just like a mix of. So one of those pre-meal, then eat, and we're golden.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like only because I need to stay in this more. You know, like I don't, like, so I'm doing everything I can now to facilitate the length. And a lot of people will miss out on a lot of progress because they get to this point and stop.
Yeah.
And I kind of liken it in some ways to like, you're just making those linear jumps in your program.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden you just hit a week or two. It's like, I haven't gone up in weight dramatically or ever.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, we need to change program. And then you're like, stay in it.
Yeah.
And then, 2 or 3 weeks more, they might either overreach a little bit, you pull them back, or they break through, or you overreach, pull them back, and then, 2-3 weeks later, they break through. And you're like, that was a direct, reflection of like you staying at the red line for a little bit. So your body goes, we need to push through the ceiling,
Yeah.
So I kind of liken it to that a little bit. It's like you're getting somewhere, you're getting uncomfortable. It's like sometimes a lot of growth comes from when you're starting to feel a little uncomfortable, not in a way where, like, don't get me wrong, we never want anyone to like get exceptionally fat and overweight.
Yeah.
Right. From that.
Yeah.
But if everything else is looking fine, so your health markers are good, mainly your blood pressure, your resting heart rate, like those two things are probably the biggest things for me.
Huge,
yeah. And then, physique's looking fine, and we're managing the rest of the stuff, doing cardio, et cetera, et cetera. You're bringing in a little bit of supplementation as well to stretch it out a little bit more.
Would you leverage that for someone going into like their first growth phase just to curb the perception of bloat and all that kind of stuff?
You could use it to see if it has an effect. Yeah. Absolutely. The thing I would do first is, like I said before, find foods that like you.
Yeah.
And you should always find foods that like you. It doesn't matter if you're in a cart, if you're not.
Yeah.
You wanna know what foods you eat them. 2 hours later, you could eat again.
Yeah.
So I know for me, if I eat a bowl of rice with some form of minced meat, fucking 2 hours later, I'm like, boom, let's do it.
Yeah.
Up until a certain point. So usually it's about 500 grams of actual mass in the meal. Anything beyond that, I'll need some support digestively.
Yep.
But I know that I can eat, and you can get, 500-600 calories in that feed. So I know every 3 hours I could feed 500-600 calories from that.
Yeah.
It's just like how many meals of minced meat and rice could I
willing
eat?
To eat? Yeah.
Yeah. So I changed it up this week and went to chicken pieces, but I think I'm going to go back to the minced meat next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it just feels a bit better, feels lighter, and I can get through it. And then the same like bananas, cereal, certain types of cereal. Like I know I can eat like Cocoa Pops or anything that's rice based.
Yeah.
So rice bubbles, Cocoa Pops,
well.
those checks, like I can just smash, 150 gram serving of it with a little bit of milk and whey.
Yep.
And again, like 2-3 hours later, I'm ready to go.
Sweet.
So I think you got to kind of like know what those foods are. It takes a little bit of trial and error. If I eat potato, see you later.
Yeah.
I'm like, can't eat for 3-4 hours.
Yep.
So that's not a food that I want to use at that time. It's a food that I may want to use
Dieting.
when I'm dieting,
Yep.
So yeah, like I think that's what I would do first with that person. And then I would use the digestive support on top of it.
Yeah, it's hard too because it's like how much of it's psychological.
Absolutely. Well, maybe you want to throw that in at the end, and it's like even if it's a placebo.
Yeah.
Like I got a couple of guys that are struggling at the moment. I'm like, yeah, let's bring this in.
Yeah.
And who knows? Like maybe the food. The one thing that I would say on top of all of that is like, because food variety opens up as your calories, like think about it with your budget, right? You got more money, you spend more, and you spend it more across a board of things.
Yeah.
You're not buying the same shit.
Yeah. When you're broke, you just buy tuna and baked beans.
Calories, and nutrition's quite similar. So if you have more calories, you have more food variety.
Yeah.
And when you do that, and you haven't eaten those foods traditionally over a longer period of time, you may get some digestive issues just because you haven't consumed those foods frequently. And then sometimes when we're in a surplus, we can consume those foods that we don't consume traditionally over a long period of time in a really bolus serve.
Yeah. So
that can cause problems in itself. So that's where I'm not saying eat the same food every day, but you really do want to lean into a similar composition of your foods. And then when you do gravitate away from those foods to something that you don't typically eat, maybe watch the serving of it.
Yeah.
Maybe watch how much you have. And
don't jump straight into a whole packet of Red Frogs.
Absolutely. And then it's like, you might eat one of those, what are they called? Those healthy pizzas.
Yeah.
And you might just stack a bit of extra protein on it.
Mm-hmm.
But then all of a sudden that's got 50 grams of fiber in it.
Yeah.
So you've now eaten a food that you haven't typically eaten. It's got maybe more gluten in it than you typically eat in a day, and it's got 50 grams of fiber. You're tanking your ability to consume more food. And you might eat that at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
and you've still got another 6, 7, 8, 900 calories to eat.
Yeah.
You know, so that's where I still think having like a semi-rigid style of eating will always win.
I agree.
You know, and having, it's like you want to set someone the guidelines and then go, cool, if you're feeling like you want something a little bit different, change one thing. Don't eat everything different
Change
across the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's something that gets overlooked because it's just talking about calories, right? But it's not talking about what are the best calories consumed for you to make sure that you're always going to get this food in and feel good at the same time.
Yeah, and like I know we've talked about it ages and ages ago, but like there's that the study about like the Twinkie, the banana, and I can't remember what the third thing is.
Was it a cookie?
Yeah, maybe. And they tested everyone's blood sugar an hour later, and it was like some people responded better to the Twinkie than they did the banana.
Yeah. I'm trying to search this up.
So if you're forcing yourself, like, but banana is healthy, so I should eat it. It's like, well, if you don't respond well to that food, like listening to you even say, like with the potato thing and the pasta, I'm like, when I was eating heaps, I was having spaghetti bolognese for lunch every day.
Yeah.
And probably like total weight of it, 300-400 grams.
Yeah.
Every day, and eating 2 hours later.
Yep.
And potato doesn't touch the sides for me.
Yep.
But if I eat too much fat,
it's just
ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just bombs your digestion or whatever.
Yeah.
Slows it down too much. Yeah. So the other thing I've been trying to do is like blend my food. And I'm not saying I blend chicken. Like
Big Macs in the blender.
Been leaning into a lot of smoothies. Yeah. Like it's just like, oats, some form of fruit, some form of syrup.
Yep.
2 scoops away.
Yep.
Ice cubes, and then it's like I feel that because it's already broken down, the digestion's better, and I think that leans into the similar scenario with the rice and the minced meat.
Yeah.
Very similar, like soft textured rice. So again, sushi rice, really soft. Broken down meat already, so less chewing.
Yeah, well, it's the same protocol as like your fucking gut health gurus, right? All they really do is give you soft food.
Yeah, it's treat like you almost like treat yourself very similar to a baby. It's like take the stress off the digestive system because you're going to eat frequently, like babies do. Yeah, and it's like give them soft food. Like I've got a couple of boys like. I've got a client who's like 125 kilos and he buys those like baby foods by the box, the squeezy ones.
That's sick.
And I was like, imagine this dude like just buying fucking baby food.
Yeah.
It's like, so it's a very similar concept. It's like getting calories in that are already kind of pre-broken down.
I can't wait now to start making baby food.
Yeah, it's like you do the whole one for me, one for you thing, man. Yeah. Sometimes the flavors aren't bad, actually. A bit of custard, chocolate flavor, a bit of apple puree.
We got the Thermomix. We may be making it all at home.
Oh, say less.
That'll just be our fridge now.
Say less.
We won't actually
just
eat
be bulking
food
all the time now.
Yeah, we won't eat any adult food.
So I think they're the major ones. And then, tracking your progress, I think like having the plan, like we said at the start, but tracking your progress too.
Yeah.
Making sure that like you're making the improvements in the areas that you want to. You're going to put on body fat. I think you need to accept that.
Yeah.
It's just part and parcel with majority of the people that do mass. Mm-hmm. There's a very small part of the population that can probably get a bit bigger, a bit on the leaner side. We don't like those people.
Fuck those guys.
No, well, they're great to coach.
Yeah.
And then
I would just add like objective data as well.
Yeah.
So like you said, track your progress, but like measurements.
Oh, absolutely.
Weekly, man. Like, so many people like
photos, measurements, body
I put
weight.
on so much weight. I'm so fat. Blah blah blah. It's like I'm up 1.5 kilos. Even like coming into often with a maintenance phase, right? Food volume goes up. Glycogen storage goes up.
Yeah, I've put on weight. Goes up. I'm not at maintenance.
It's like
just filled yourself up.
Your waist measurement went down.
Yeah.
Or like, you know what I mean? It's like you're
absolutely.
actually in a phenomenal position.
Yeah.
And that's where that perception stuff. So you have to really lean into objective data.
Especially when all of those things that we just spoke about are speaking to you in the back of your head.
Yeah.
The sluggishness, the food, the fatigue, etc.
Yeah.
Like you need to have the data there to rationalize that we can stay in a little bit longer and things are working. Because if you don't, then you just see those people that chronically dip in and out.
Yeah.
So they're always like, every time something gets uncomfortable, either side of the spectrum, they never sit there long enough for it to work.
Yeah.
So it's no different to the person that does the 4-week program.
Yeah.
Or the 6-week program. It's like, gets to a point where it's actually hard and challenging the system, and then peels back.
Yeah.
They push the body weight up till it feels a little bit uncomfortable, then they move away. They get to the deficit when it's a little bit hungry, then they pull back. It's like you need to get used to feeling a little uncomfortable sometimes, and I guess that's lessons for other facets of life as well. The best growth comes from being uncomfortable. And then the only way you stay in it and the only way you rationalize if it's working or not and that you should stay in it is having the information there to go, I got 4 more weeks of this because I'm getting bigger,
Yeah. And for the guys, like, there's so often it's like, I'm in a bulk phase, so they stop doing the objective data and it's like, you are getting fat.
Well, yeah.
Because you're not paying attention. And you're eating the fucking Zinger box and whatever.
Absolutely. And it's like, it just makes the diet, the cut, so much harder.
Yeah.
Because you got to diet for longer.
Yeah.
You got to be in a deficit for longer, obviously, because of that. More cardio, running the risk of like being in a state where you potentially, because it's new muscle, and I don't know how to prove that that's a thing or not, but I think the new muscle you put on is really easy to lose.
Yeah.
After you've just put it
Would
on.
make sense.
I
can justify that evolutionary wise. Like,
even bodybuilders talk about it all the time. They're just like, oh, when I got to 300, like, and even when I dieted, like I still lose it off my legs or my back and then, they always talk about even just anecdotally, like spending time at the weight first before they diet back.
Yeah.
And they're just like, trying to own that weight. And then like, even just anecdotally, we spoke about like getting to 90 was hard and now 90 is easy. Like, surely there's some validity to like owning the body weight that you just got to, and then I think, like if you get too fat though, and you have to diet off for longer, what's going first? The new muscle?
The hard-earned muscle.
The new muscle or the old muscle?
Yeah.
It's in, kind of thing. So, that's what I think, even just from like a mild bro science perspective is like, if you work so hard to put this new muscle on to improve your body, like, but you got really fat at the expense of it because you just like went ham on the calories, maybe that's the first muscle that goes when you have to diet so long because you got so fat to get yourself back in shape. So there you go. So as a shameless plug, I have a muscle building cheat sheet that you can access on the website, STCfit.com. You can find it in my link in bio. It's a little kind of selfless plug for a little project that I'm doing at the moment. So get yourself a copy. Let me know what you think, and enjoy the tips that we use across our whole business and coaching philosophy to put your focus into the areas that are going to serve you best to get as big as you desire.
Hinged.
So yeah, all
Athletic.
right, that was good. That was fun. All right, guys, we've got a heap of recordings to do, so we'll see you next time and enjoy the episode.